and welcome to another anime paint night. I'm Corey. This month we are doing something a little different. We are going to be painting the character of Sar from the comic Black Sands. So technically Black Sands isn't an anime or a manga. It is an American comic, but it's heavily inspired by manga such as Naruto and One Piece. It was created by Manuel Godoy, and I thought it would be cool for Black History Month to spotlight an African American comic creator, especially since he was heavily inspired by anime and manga when creating this series. So let's get into it. So if you signed up for the kit, you should have the materials, the wood panel, the paintbrushes, and the paint, along with a little reference image and a color pencil. So on your panel, it should already have like a white silhouette of where the character is going to go. The first thing I did, you will do is take your color pencil and basically sketch in the outline of the character in that white silhouette. So using the reference picture, basically just sort of sketching the basic shapes of like his face, his eyes, his arms, just that general position. It doesn't have to be super detailed because we're going to be painting over it, but that is a good place to start. Have like that sort of basic sketch underneath your image to help you guide you along as you're painting. So after the sketch is done, the first thing I did was take some of the orange paint and I layered that down. So the acrylic paint that we're using, it's not entirely opaque, so you can kind of see the layers of color underneath it, which is why I put that one layer of white underneath it to start with, so to help the color sort of pop. But we're going to start with that layer of orange as our base. I find when doing the skin tones, it helps to have like that sort of warm color underneath the color, especially with the darker brown. It helps it look more vivid and less flat. So after I have that orange layer down, I go in with a layer of brown on top of it. And again, take your time while you're painting. These colors do tend to dry relatively fast, but for our purposes, which is good. But you don't want it to be too wet while you're going through, and then you'll wind up with like the colors winding up getting mixed and muddy. But after putting down that brown layer on top for his skin, I left the bracelets on his arm and shoulder, along with his earrings. I left that orange exposed because we're going to go over that later when we start doing the gold. But for now, we move on to the brown. So I put 2 layers of just regular brown on top of the orange, and then I started working on the shadows. So for that, I mixed the brown with the blue. You need to sort of have to play with it to get like sort of a darker brown that's not too blue, but it's still somewhat close to the brown of the skin tone. And then with that, I sort of just chunked in some shadows on his face and his arms, and like around his nose and his eyes. And then after that, I moved on to do some highlights. And so I took some brown and mixed it with a little bit of orange and white, and I got like a lighter brown, and I used that for the highlights on the right side of his face. Once we have the highlights down, I went in with the blue on his towards the bottom for his outfit, and then blue on the left side of his face where the light from his powers emanating. So some blue highlights over there. And then after that, I mix some more blue with some white to get like a lighter shade of blue to like help continually make this the highlights sort of pop. And then after that, I moved back to the gold of his bracelets, necklace, and earrings. Basically put a layer of yellow over the orange, not all of it. Basically just sort of made like a light gradient on the jewelry. And then later I went back over and also added a couple white streaks to sort of represent the highlights on the jewelry. Then doing some touch-ups with the white, going back over his eyes and his mouth to fill them in with white, and then also add some a line of white highlight on the side. And then I sort of went in to work on his arm. I'll do that a couple times as we go through. Basically, like the powers emanating from like his fist and his one bracelet. He's got that blue-white energy coming off of it. And then the shadows of his fist. You can see like the outline of his fist with the shadows. So basically going back and forth with blue, white, and black to sort of get those details on his hand. All right, and then after I've blocked in most of the colors, and I'm somewhat happy with that, next I move to do the outline. So now this part was easier to do with the thinner brush. So basically you're just going to be taking that and dipping it into the black and then going through and outlining everything. You're going to repeatedly be dipping it in the black. You don't want your brush to get dry, because then you won't have like a smooth line. It's going to wind up sort of streaking a bit. But yeah, so I sort of went in, did outline everything, detailing his eyes, his facial makeup, and adding in some detail for his teeth. And then after we have the outline done, I went in and started working on the background. This is up to you, how you want to do it, because after I did it, admittedly, I'm sort of torn. I both like the way the natural wood looked behind him, but I also do like the fully colored image. So it's up to you. You can see how I do it, and then decide whether or not you want to color in the background. But basically, I just went in with blue, and I also mixed in some black with the blue to get like some sort of smoky aura going on behind him. Then did a couple, again, some more white lines to like sort of highlight the energy coming off of his fist. And then that is it. Went back and did a couple more touch-ups with the brown. Sort of tried to blend his skin tone out. So that is pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed this month's anime paint night. If you want to share your end result, feel free to do so. You can either email it or send it on our social media page. I always like seeing how everybody's art turns out. If you're interested in doing more art-related programs, we have a playlist of all different anime paint night that we've done in the past, and also some news for the future. we are going to be having our 7th annual Iconicon later in April, and leading up to it, we're going to be doing a fan art contest. So if you want to submit a drawing, painting, digital, traditional, even a sculpture, we've had a couple of sculptures in the past as well, mixed media work, pretty much anything. So we're going to be taking entries from today, February the 14th, up until April the 11th. So definitely, if you are interested, you can check out in the description below. There will be a link to the submission form. You can also just bring your art to the library in person, whichever is more convenient to you. But yeah, for more information about the contest, anime paint night, or anything else library related, you can go to our website, suffolkpubliclibrary.com, or give us a call. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.